A familiar face joins me now on Beyond the Bio. Arizona football's new defensive coordinator, Duane Akina. And Coach Akina, when you came back to Arizona football last spring, we've had multiple conversations about what this program, this community, and this team mean to you. But what is it about this group of guys that made you want to stay here this season?
Well, obviously watching the growth of, if we just talk about the secondary first of all, watching the growth of Gunner and Stooks and Dalton and Bobo, and I mean just being part of that and just seeing where we started and where we ended by the end of the Oklahoma game. I was really proud. That last Oklahoma game, and obviously with my history at Texas for 14 years, I think the players there understood. They were all big games, but that one had a little extra juice to it for me. And they really stood up and played incredibly well. And certainly got great loyalty to them. But just watching their development was really something special. And then when you take it with a whole defense, because I think one of the things we preached, it's not always what you call, what defense you call, it's how you play that defense. And I think it really jumped out as the season wore on. You could see the love and passion that the defensive kids played with. And it really was evident in that last game against Oklahoma, because that was, Oklahoma is considered one of those real blue blood programs. When you talk about college football, Oklahoma would be mentioned as one of those teams, you know, that have a great reputation.
As we gear up for spring ball, how do you hope to build off of the successes of the defense last season going into this year?
So what we've been doing defensively is, I do it every year, wherever I've been, is just plus and minus the system. So we'll go back and see things that we thought were very good, things that we thought were good but could be maybe tinkered with a little bit to plus the system. And then there will be things that, you know what, it really doesn't fit. And the whole thing, I've always said, this is our defense. Much like when I got here last year, I kind of married what I've done at Arizona, Texas, and Stanford to what the initial thoughts were, you know, and then we kind of blended it. And that's really what we're doing now. I've got a lot of respect for Joe and Danny Gonzalez, and we're doing our base stuff. We're tinkering with that to add and subtract, and then what are some of the thoughts that they can bring to the table too. So this defense is really, it's always our defense. It's just not one-man show.
And for the last several months, we've been getting to know the new staff, but for you, you've already known so many of them. What's that like to see so many familiar faces come back here?
Well, I can remember when Coach Tomey stepped down back there after that 2000 season, and David Phipp and Coach Brennan were GAs for us at that time, and going over to their house and Sam Hughes and just sit down and visiting with them. And then I remember me and Donna, you know, as I was leaving, I said, man, I hope I was nice to you two guys, because there'll be a day I may be asking you for a job. And here we are, you know, 25 years later, having an opportunity to work with Coach. And then Joe Ciamalo, I recruited, you know, to the University of Hawaii out of Radford High School. And so I've had tremendous amount of respect for him, and he ended up playing and coaching Rich Ellerson, who is a dear friend of mine. In fact, Coach Ellerson came in and talked football with us, who is kind of the founding father of that whole flex Desert Swarm defense. That was Rich, and he gave Joe Ciamalo his first start in coaching. So there's just so many things that are woven together, you know. And we've all been raised by Coach Tomey. We've lined up with him. So I always say that's a blessing and a curse, because he was such a great man to work for. That was just such a high bar to follow if you went and worked with another staff. Coach Brennan has a lot of Coach Tomey in him, which was one reason why I really wanted to stay along with this program in the great city of Tucson.
Well, we can't wait to see what you do at the helm of this defense. And thank you so much for your time today, Coach.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.